Hello, this is BBC News. I'm Victoria Derbyshire. These are your latest headlines from the UK and around the world. At least 300 people are reported dead and many more injured after a powerful earthquake in Afghanistan. In the UK, new figures show the price we're paying for food, fuel and gas and electricity continues to rise at the fastest rate for 40 years.
The costs have gone up for our wholesalers. So for me, my import costs have gone up. Also my costs to the growers, their costs have gone up. But it can't be passed on.
Talks to resolve the rail dispute across the UK continue, and so does the disruption, with only 60% of services running today. Facebook removes a large number of accounts posting pictures and videos of upskirting after an investigation by BBC News. And Glastonbury's back. After a 3-year gap, fans are descending on Worthy Farm in Somerset for one of the biggest music festivals in the whole wide world. Hello and welcome if you're watching in the UK or around the world. At least 300 people have been killed in a powerful earthquake in Afghanistan. The 6.1 earthquake struck overnight in the southeast of the country, with most of the confirmed deaths in a province called Paktika. These are the images of homes reduced to rubble. The extent of the damage isn't yet known, and rescue efforts are continuing in outlying villages. The country's supreme leader has confirmed the number of dead in a statement to the media, saying at least 500 people are also injured. Hikmatullah Esmat is head of the provincial health body in Paktika. He told the BBC that the number of casualties was likely to go up. Here in the UK, prices are continuing to rise at their fastest rate for 40 years, driven by petrol, energy and food costs. Latest official figures show that UK inflation, that's the rate at which prices rise, edged up to 9.1% in the 12 months to May. That's up slightly from 9% in April. The figure is now at the highest level since March 1982, when it stood at the same level. The Bank of England's warned that inflation could reach 11% later this year. Our business correspondent Emma Simpson reports on how the rising cost of living is affecting how we all shop. Train services across the UK face further disruption after yesterday's strike action, despite no walkouts taking place today. Talks between Network Rail and the RMT union are taking place, but tomorrow's strike is likely to go ahead anyway, and rail bosses say today's services will be thinner than usual. Our consumer affairs correspondent Coletta Smith has more. Just going to bring you this breaking news now. It's from Afghanistan, where, as you know, we've been reporting there's been a powerful earthquake overnight. A few moments ago, we were reporting that around 300 people had been killed. Well, there's just been a news conference by the government's Deputy Minister of Disaster and Management in Afghanistan, and they say that the number of dead is 920 people. That is so far. 920 people, they say, were killed in that powerful earthquake in Paktika province in Afghanistan overnight, and they say 610 people have been injured. They say the quake affected several provinces actually of the country, but that's the latest news from Afghanistan's Deputy Minister of Disaster and Management. The earthquake overnight has killed 920 people so far, with 610 people wounded. In Ukraine, heavy shelling is continuing around the town of Severodonetsk in the Donbass region. That's in the east of the country, where Russian forces are focusing their attacks. Facebook says it's taken down a large number of accounts and groups posting pictures and videos of upskirting after an investigation by BBC News. Our research found that thousands of users openly sharing obscene material of women and girls, which was taken in public without their consent. Angus Crawford has the story. A mayor in Texas says the school where a gunman killed 19 children and 2 teachers last month is going to be demolished. Earlier, the official in charge of public safety told a state hearing that the law enforcement response to the attack had been an abject failure. Richard Forrest reports. As we've been reporting, prices in the UK are continuing to rise at their fastest rate for 40 years, and that is driven by petrol, energy and food costs. The latest official figures show that the rate at which prices rise edged up to 9.1% in the year to May. In the last few minutes, UK Chancellor Rishi Sunak has been talking about the figures. Have a listen. Rishi Sunak, the UK Chancellor. A new Bill of Rights is being published by the government this morning, which it says will enable it to override some of the rulings made by the European Court of Human Rights in Strasbourg. Last week, a decision by that court blocked a flight organised by the Home Office to remove a number of asylum seekers from the UK to Rwanda. Although today's announcement had been long expected, it was in the Conservatives' manifesto in 2019, they say it's not a response to the ruling over Rwanda. Let's have a look at what the government says is included in the bill. It says it includes greater weight in law to freedom of speech and makes it clear that the UK Supreme Court is the ultimate judicial decision maker on human rights issues, and that rulings by the European Court of Human Rights don't always need to be followed by UK courts. The government also says it doesn't intend to leave the European Convention on Human Rights. The ECHR is a set of legal safeguards allowing people like me and you to challenge what they say is unfair treatment by their government. The Convention is in effect interpreted by the European Court of Human Rights, which is nothing to do with the EU. Critics say the plans are unnecessary and a step backwards. The Deputy Prime Minister, who's also the Justice Secretary and a trained lawyer, Dominic Raab, has been defending the move. The Prince of Wales and the Duchess of Cornwall have arrived in Rwanda for the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting that was postponed by the pandemic. Charles will represent the Queen, who is head of the Commonwealth. Our royal correspondent Nick Witchell has this report, and just to say, it does have some flash photography in it. The congressional hearings investigating alleged attempts by Donald Trump and his allies to overturn the election result in 2020 have heard about threats, intimidation and unbearable pressure placed on election officials. The committee is looking into the storming of Congress by Trump supporters. Our North America correspondent David Willis has more. After a gap of 3 years, Glastonbury has opened its gates to festival goers this morning. Performances on the main stage start on Friday, with around 200,000 people heading to Worthy Farm in Somerset. Our entertainment correspondent Colin Patterson has been talking to those arriving. Gorgeous weather for it. Right, news at the top of the hour. Have a good day.
Hello, time to take a look at what's happening around the world weather-wise over the next few days.